take off. So it's FFA Day, and we have Addysen Folmar. Say good morning, Addysen.
Hi.
Hi. I said say good morning, and she says hi.
Yeah.
It's okay. Gracie Rand.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Brandon Brabson. Hello, Brandon.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. And we're going to talk. We've got a whole list of topics we want to make sure we cover, but I want to start with Brandon. You are a new FFA advisor here in Artesia. Welcome to Artesia.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I just started with Artesia. I've been here since about the middle of June. So
Okay.
we've been actually just going along and having a good time so far. So
Well, good. Are you
happy to be here.
Well, great. And I see you found an orange shirt,
Yes, sir.
and you're wearing it on Friday. So that's. But actually, in Artesia, you can wear orange
Anytime.
any day. It's acceptable. Where are you from?
Originally, I am from Deming, New Mexico.
Okay.
And then previously, I was teaching in Socorro. So I taught in Socorro for 6 years.
Okay. Do you have an agriculture background? Family have a farm or ranch? Or?
So my grandparents owned a family farm. They've actually downsized, semi-retired, I guess. And so I grew up around that most of my life. I was involved in FFA, had a great ag teacher, and he and my other ag teacher pushed me to become an ag teacher. So
Okay. So is you were in Socorro before you came to Artesia then?
yes, sir.
Okay. And is Artesia bigger than Socorro, or is Socorro bigger than Artesia?
So Artesia is actually bigger than Socorro. There's quite a few. As far as school size, it doesn't feel a lot bigger, but there are definitely more students in Artesia than there are at Socorro.
Okay. And what's been some of your most interesting experiences in Artesia, like meeting the students or?
I really haven't had a lot of interesting experiences. I mean, a lot of my experiences as far as meeting people in the community, families, students, everything has been a really good experience so far being in Artesia. So
That's great. Do you have a family with you here?
it is just me.
Just
So,
you?
Yes, sir.
Not even a cat or a dog? Or
I do have a dog.
You do? Oh, that's great. Well, let's talk to our students. We have, as we mentioned earlier, Addysen and Gracie. And where do we want to begin? We had the Eastern New Mexico State Fair last week.
Yes.
And did both of you participate in that?
So I participated in it.
I usually do, but I didn't this year. But I definitely took a lot of visits up to see everyone.
That's great. So, Addysen, you had an animal in the fair this year?
Yes, I had 4 sheep that
Okay.
I showed. Yes,
All right.
sir.
How'd they do?
So I was first in one class, 4th in another, and 5th. So I was in the top 5 all day.
Well, we had the video on here in
Yes,
the
sir.
lobby, and we were watching the different shows, and I saw a lot of Artesia FFA students that were in there. So overall, how do you think Artesia did?
I feel like it was a pretty good fair for Artesia kids. There was a couple of us that had it in the sale. So I feel like overall it went pretty well for Artesia.
Well, that's good.
Yes, sir.
Gracie, when you went up to the fair, did you see anything interesting or unique or that kind of stood out in your mind?
I mean, my favorite part was just getting to see people from, different places around the state. So, I mean, that's what's interesting to me, just to meet up with them and get to hang out with them for a day.
That's great. Another item that we wanted to talk about, which I said, this is for real? Discussion meet. So, do you want Brandon to explain what that is, or do you guys want to explain what is a discussion meet? I mean, I thought just sitting down for a cup of coffee is a discussion meet, right?
We'll go ahead and let Addie.
I can explain it.
Okay, very
So last year, Miss Kaufman wanted us to do this discussion meet. So basically, Farm Bureau announces a list of questions that have to relate to Farm Bureau, and we study those questions, we research them, and we come up with statements to back up our stuff, and then we'll go with the different people around our district, and we will discuss those questions with
Okay.
a group of people.
So give us an example of some of the questions that were discussed.
So some of them were like kind of about climate change. There was one of them that asked about the climate, so we basically just had to talk about it and discuss with other members.
Okay. Do you discuss until there's some kind of consensus? Or is there a clock? Okay, climate change, is it real? Discuss. How does it kind of go?
We have a time limit, so we have like 1 minute to give an opening statement, and then we have 10 minutes to discuss, and then we have a minute to give a closing statement.
Okay.
So
So it's not a debate. There's not a conclusion at the end of it.
We just talk about it.
So is it judged?
Yes,
It-
there is a panel of judges.
Panel of judges.
Yes.
So what do you get judged on in a discussion meet?
I'm not really sure. So I placed fourth this year,
You
but I
placed
have
fourth, but-
no idea why I placed fourth. So
Well, why do you think you did well in the discussion?
I don't know. So we had another member from our chapter that I thought did a really good job, and I know why he beat me, but I just feel like I didn't have enough research to it. So
And he did finish higher than fourth?
yeah, he was first.
He was first. Okay. Were you a part of this, Gracie?
I was not. I did it last year, but just along with Addie, it was new. We didn't really know much, but
Yeah.
she
So
did the
you
topic pretty
participated
good.
last year.
Yes,
how,
sir.
how did you? Where did you get placed?
I don't even think I placed, but it was fun. It was a good experience.
It is.
Yeah.
So what do you think the goal was, or what, or did they give you some kind of a guideline? Say, here's what you're trying to do, or here's what you're trying to accomplish, or?
No, they just gave us that list of questions, and then they'll announce a question before we start, and then we have a little bit to prepare, and then we
Yeah.
just talk about it.
Well, Brandon, you're an advisor. Do you know
So
a little bit more about how this works?
A little bit.
Okay. A
little bit.
So whenever they are in the discussion meet, they're presenting basically the topic they were given. They want to make sure they're having a conversation with their fellow panel, or panel of members, and then it's just how well they interact, the facts that they come up with. Are they actually stating facts? Are they repetitive? There's different things that they're being judged on as far as that goes. They're looking at their ability just to speak with one another. And we're not getting into a debate, but just to have a conversation, get the ball rolling, maybe bounce some ideas off of other members that they're sitting there with. So it's a pretty neat contest. We actually have we took 6 students. There were 10 total that competed at the district contest, and 3 of our 6 are actually going on to compete at the state contest, which will be in November.
Wow. Well, there you go. The state discussion meet.
Yes, sir.
It's an interesting concept, but really, when you think about it, we don't discuss things too much anymore. It's pretty much, I think this, and if you don't agree, get out of here. And so maybe it's a good idea to learn how to discuss things, at least in a civil manner.
Yes, sir.
So good. Gracie, do you want to talk about National Convention?
Yeah, absolutely. So both me and Addie are going to go up there in pretty soon actually, up to Indianapolis for AgCom. So this is a new contest we've done. This is the first time New Mexico will ever be doing it.
Oh.
So that's pretty interesting, and we're super excited to go up. This would be my first year going to National Convention. And is it your first year too? Yeah, so that's pretty exciting for us.
That's great. So the National Convention is in Indianapolis, Indiana, which is another state.
Yeah.
Have either of you ever traveled that far before, or is this first time kind of really getting out of New Mexico and traveling?
I mean, for me, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for FFA, I would say so. I've gone to like Kansas City or
Okay.
places like that for showing, but nothing
Yeah.
like National Convention.
Okay. Well, first of all, they have humidity,
Yeah.
so you're going to have to worry about that. And what time of the year is it that the National Convention, when is it?
It's
A week
a
from
week.
Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, a week
so
from Monday.
we have next
Pretty
week,
soon.
and then we leave the next week.
Okay, so it's still in the fall, so you shouldn't have to worry about snow.
Yeah.
You should be good with all that. So how many? So you're part of a New Mexico delegation that's going to national, or are you representing New Mexico, or are you representing Artesia?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. So how many others from around here are going to this, or are you the two representatives?
So we have 2 other girls on our team,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have 2 other members from our chapter. But as of New Mexico, I don't really know.
Yeah.
Okay. And then are there specific events you're going to be competing in? Okay.
So you want
Yeah.
to explain what your contest is?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you-
Okay.
So I don't know.
Like Gracie said, this is a new contest that we're competing in. It's called Ag Communications. We basically had to come up with a solution to a problem.
Okay.
So our problem was like, how can we make a community garden more well known? So we have to like present a pitch to some judges, and
Okay. And you could actually practice that here because there is a community garden in Artesia. And so if you're
Yes.
successful with this, you could bring it back and maybe deploy that here. So have you already got it worked out? Have you got all your, is each one of you going to be responsible for a specific point that is being made as a part of the plan? So what, Gracie, what are you going to be responsible for?
So I'm kind of in charge of like the social media platforms, so I get to make the posts to advocate for that. And when we competed nationally, we did half of the contest here, and I was supposed to produce a video that was supposed to help put out to the community.
You were supposed to, meaning you did, or
I guess it's all hypothetical. So like if we were supposed to do this, this is what we would do.
So did you actually make a video, or did you just kind of storyboard it, outline it?
No, I had to actually make it on the computer, so that was kind of a new experience, but it was really fun.
Okay. And Addysen, what's your role in this going to be?
So my role is figuring out like the target audiences and like who we want to reach. And then like Gracie said, here we did do part of our contest virtually, and I did the journalistic writing part. So
Okay.
it's basically an opinion writing.
Okay. Do you have an opinion on this?
Not really, because I mean, like Gracie said, it's hypothetical.
Hypothetical,
so,
yeah. Well, you could have a hypothetical opinion.
Yeah, so we actually did travel to the community garden to kind of see what it was like.
Yeah.
To
So
kinda
what,
help
what do you
us
think
out.
of the community garden here?
You want to explain it?
I think it's good. I mean, I didn't know very much about it when we started this contest, so I think it opened all of our eyes to, another aspect of our community that we have, and we were able to use that in our presentation really well, and I think it was really good.
Good, good. Well, that'll be a lot of fun. So are you going to spend the whole trip at the convention, or are you going to get to do some sightseeing while you're up there?
Brabson?
Well, they're looking at Brandon here.
So we're actually leaving on Monday. Their contest is going to be, if I'm not mistaken, is on Wednesday of that
yeah.
week.
Okay.
We'll do some practices on Tuesday. And then during National Convention, there's some sessions, some general sessions, business sessions that will take place. There's workshops. There's lots of things going on at National Convention. And so they'll get to go participate in a lot of other events while we're there, activities while we're there. So
Okay. I'm not real familiar with Indianapolis. I'm trying to think of what would be a sightseeing opportunity to go to. If you go to St. Louis, there's an arch. If you go to Chicago, there's a bean. But I don't know what's in Indianapolis, Have you ever been to the National
I
before?
have, but we always go and we're busy doing competitions or we're going to workshops or sessions or something along those lines. So we haven't actually really gone and done any sightseeing while we were there.
Yeah.
We've done it along the way if we've traveled,
Sure, yeah.
but not while we were actually in Indianapolis.
Well, hopefully you'll get a chance to, and then you can come back and report on what touristy things there are in Indianapolis. Okay, we have a couple minutes left. Coming up is the District Creed competition. Addysen, Gracie, who wants to tell us about that?
I guess I can tell you
Okay,
about
very
it. So the District Creed competition is October 21st, next week sometime. So we have quite a bit of members going. So there's Green Hen members, which are freshmen, and then we have an 8th grade Creed too, which are 8th graders. So they'll compete next week, so we're super excited for that.
And that's in Roswell,
Yes,
as
sir.
I remember from our discussion. So, well, that's good. And the Creed competition, kind of give us an outline of what exactly that is. Gracie's looking at you, Addysen.
So members are given the FFA Creed, which
Okay.
is just some paragraphs that they will memorize, and they will go and present it to a panel of judges, and then they'll be asked 1 or 2 questions about the FFA Creed.
Okay, so you have to study, you have to understand the background, why those words and sentences are in the creed, and have you, in your studying, have you learned anything about the creed that you didn't realize before that now you understand about it, or?
I think when I did it when I was younger, I think you learn a lot about like morals, I think, because it states out a lot of important factors about FFA that not many people realize, and that's what I take away from it.
Okay, Addysen, anything for you?
Well, I mean, people, when they think of agriculture, they're like, well, it's just about farming, and that's not the case. So I feel like that's kind of what I took away from it, because there's so many aspects of the FFA Creed that doesn't talk about farming, and there's so much more to agriculture.
Yeah. Well, good luck in the Creed. Good luck at National. Good luck in the discussion meet. The next one that comes up. And really appreciate the good work you're doing. And look forward to having you guys back again. Brandon Brabson, the new FFA advisor, thanks for coming in.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Addysen Folmar and Gracie Rand, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. That's it for the